So this is from John Frag. He asked the question, your thoughts about Thor, Love, and Thunder. So I've only seen it one time. I saw it in theaters, and I thought it was like okay. I definitely am. I understand people who love this movie. If you are a Taika Waititi fan, you're gonna love it. You know, you love that movie. It's great. But if you don't particularly like his the way he does movies and stories, you're not gonna like Love and Thunder. I think that was like my tagline. I did do a review for this, but like that was like my tagline on my video. Like, hey, if you love Taika, you'll love Love and Thunder. Like I have a buddy of mine, he loves Taika Waititi's movies, all of them. He thought Love and Thunder was amazing. And then I have another friend who loves Marvel movies in general, and he doesn't necessarily hate Taika, but he does feel like sometimes Taika's humor overdoes. He overdoes it. I think that's fair. And he said that Love and Thunder definitely overdid it, and I agree with him. You know, I understand both perspectives. I love Sam Raimi's movies. I do. I get all of his stuff. But I thought that Doctor Strange 2 was like could have been so much better. It was just like there was a lot of awesome Raimi scenes in that, but it was just ultimately if you love Sam Raimi, you're gonna love the movie, and I think that's why I liked the movie more. If it wasn't Sam Raimi's direction, I probably wouldn't like Multiverse of Madness, but because it was Sam Raimi who was directing it, I actually ended up liking it more. So it's one of those things where it's like, is the story good for Thor: Love and Thunder? No. like if we're comparing Love and Thunder, I would even say this. I would say that Thor: The Dark World, you know, the MCU movie that is apparently the worst in a lot of people's minds, I think that has a better story than Love and Thunder. Now, with that said, Love and Thunder is more entertaining, though. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, where The Dark World has the better story, Love and Thunder is more entertaining. And if I was going to watch one of those, I would prefer to watch Love and Thunder. Even in my mind, I don't think I think The Dark World gets a lot more hate than it needs. I don't think it's necessarily good, but I think that a lot of people really hate on that movie, and I don't think it deserves all that hate. It's very hard to say, you know, because I always say this: the most important thing for a movie to have is, even if it has a bad story, if it has bad characters, if it has bad motivation, if everything's just bad music, everything's just bad. If it's entertaining, that's still value. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I've said since I've been saying this since like 2015. The most valuable thing for a film to have is the entertainment value. So even though I'd say Dark World overall, I think is like, even just like cinematography, story, I'd even say like characters to a certain point is better in my mind. Love and Thunder is fun. It's entertaining. I will say this: the black and white scenes when they enter like his dark world, or what was it called, the Death Realm or whatever. When they enter that Shadow Realm, man, that looks great. I love that. I was actually a big fan of that. When everything got dark, black and white, that was great. But yeah, I just think a lot of Love and Thunder was like something interesting was happening, and then Taika would make a joke out of it, and it was just like, you know, it makes you roll your eyes. I think that's what it is. I rolled my eyes too many times. Like Ragnarok kind of had that, right? Ragnarok had the occasional moments where it's like, oh, this is a serious moment. Oh, okay. Well, at least that joke was kind of funny, so I'm okay with that. Where like Love and Thunder is just like, it is constantly doing that to you, and it's just like, like instead of me going like, oh wow, I can't believe they turned that into a joke, but you know, it was kind of a funny joke, so it's okay. So things like that would happen in Ragnarok, where like Taika Waititi, something would happen, and you're like, oh, this is pretty sad moment. Oh, okay, now he turned into a joke, but you know what? At least the joke was kind of funny. We'll let it go. Well, Love and Thunder does that constantly, and it's just like they overdo it, and it continues to keep on doing it, and you're eventually like, oh, you know, they'll eventually stop. They'll get more serious, and then they just keep on doing it until the end. And I feel like that really made a lot of people mad. Like, even though Love and Thunder overall, I was entertained. I left the movie saying, you know what, that was fine. I'm not surprised that they're not going to have Taika do another one. It almost felt like Taika did that on purpose. Like, it felt like he didn't want to do another Marvel movie. Like, so he's just like, you know what, I'm just going to over Taika this. And so like they like purposely, you know, he purposely sabotaged the film, I guess. I don't know. The thing about Love and Thunder is just one of those movies where like there are people over here who love it, and there are people over here who hate it, and I guess every movie kind of does that, but some movies you can just like tell. Some are just great, some are just bad, and then there's ones that are just like split the fan base straight down, and I think that's what Love and Thunder did. My final thoughts looking back on it, it just got put back on Disney Plus, so I'm actually probably gonna rewatch it like this week. Maybe I'll do like a little quick like second review on it, see if it kind of is better now that I can watch it again. But based off my first time watching it a few months ago, I don't really want to watch it again. You know, I think that's like a nail in the coffin for a lot of movies. Like, I don't say that about a lot of films. Like, when I watch a movie, I would like to watch them again at some point. But for Love and Thunder, I'm okay taking like a year off to watch it. I'm still gonna watch it though because it's on Disney Plus, and I want to see like, you know, how nice it looks on my OLED. But it's one of those things like I don't necessarily want to. I'm still going to, but like I don't feel the need to. And that's probably one of the bigger things too. It's like there are movies where you're like, love this movie, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna watch it. You know, and then there's movies where you're like, oh, this movie's for free. I guess I'll turn it on when I'm like working on something else, have in the background. And Love and Thunder is probably one of those movies where I'm not going to give it my full attention again, right? I will have it play in the background, and that'll be that. So, yeah. There you go. Hopefully that answered your question. Wasn't meant to attack anyone, by the way, so I hope if you like Love and Thunder, that's fine. Just for me, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. But I do understand why people hate it. So there you go. Darth Prime says this: how different would the Thor franchise be if Ragnarok had a more consistent tone with the first two Thor films? That is a great question. I don't know, because here's the thing: Ragnarok changed a lot of stuff. Not only did it like change, you know, like you said, the tone of what the Thor movies are, but it changed the character of Thor himself. In a lot of ways, it also proved to Disney and to Marvel that people like more comedic tones to it as well. I would say maybe Guardians kind of tapped into this, and then Ragnarok kind of sold it, right? In the first two Avengers movies, Thor was like, he was our stoic, kind of behind with the times type of character. And then after Ragnarok, or actually during Ragnarok, Thor became more of like the lovable oaf. He lost his stoic personality and his perspectives, and he just became like the funny oaf brute, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much different it would be. Would people like it more? I don't know. I mean, I just think people were stale on Thor. People were really stale on Thor until Ragnarok came out, and that really just changed his perspective in a lot of people's minds. I never mind the first Thor. I thought Thor before Ragnarok was fine, because that was his character. That was the point of him. But I don't really care about the change either. But yeah, it would be completely different though. So that's a really good point to make there, Prime.